The man in the car we're following over there is Bobby Wine. He's a Ugandan pop star turned politician. He's opposed to the local government, which he accuses of undermining democracy. He organized this last-minute, unauthorized protest. We're driving now with Bobby in his convoy. On the way, we picked up about 300 or 400 supporters who are riding motorcycles or just on foot, surrounding his car, traveling alongside him. Ugandan security officials say the regime is worried about Wine's rising popularity and is watching him closely.
I've been put under 24-hour surveillance. All our phones are hacked. I cannot talk to you about sensitive stuff or about private stuff on my phone because our conversation is being listened to.
A Ugandan government spokesman denied the authorities are spying on Bobby Wine. As the singer predicted, the police show up and put an abrupt end to his rally. In front of our cameras, they block his car, shoot tear gas at the crowd, and take Bobby Wine away.
You're breaking my hand, officer. I'm not fighting.
The singer will be detained and later jailed. We came to Kampala, the capital of Uganda, to investigate how the government is using advanced surveillance technology from China to stifle dissent. Ugandan government officials told us that employees at Chinese telecom giant Huawei are playing an essential role in the government's effort to spy on opposition politicians, including Bobby Wine. So how exactly is Huawei involved in all of this? First, let's take a step back.
The United States has also been very clear with our security partners on the threat posed by Huawei.
The point is that Huawei is a bad actor.
It provides the capacity to maliciously modify or steal information.
Over the past few months, the Trump administration has hammered the company, saying it could help the Chinese government spy on super-fast new 5G mobile networks. Huawei has denied spying on behalf of any government, and said doing so would be corporate suicide.
The European Union is defying the United States warning to ban Chinese telecom giant Huawei.
A debate spread all around the globe, with governments forced to take a stand, either accept Huawei or ban it. Huawei has made itself indispensable in many countries, rich and poor, selling smartphones, software, and cell towers that allow people to connect to the internet. In Uganda, where Huawei has obtained a number of lucrative government contracts in recent years, the Chinese giant supplies most of the 3G and 4G cell towers. Giant surveillance centers like this one, which cost millions of dollars to build. This is the new facility behind these blue gates. Looks like it's going to be pretty big. And surveillance cameras equipped with facial recognition. Even in this village where a lot of the homes don't have electricity, there's a brand new set of surveillance cameras behind me.
Over you go. You see oil.
Our investigation found that this surveillance infrastructure has been used as a tool of repression by the regime of strongman Yoweri Museveni, an autocrat who has been in power for over 30 years. Opposition politicians and activists accuse him of rigging elections and beating up or even killing opponents to stay in power, which he has denied. In recent years, the opposition has become more vocal and therefore more dangerous in the eyes of the government. Especially Bobby Wine, a star singer who has said he wants to run for president. We found that to closely monitor and stop activists like him, Huawei staff helped the government put in place an advanced surveillance system. This system is based on 3 core tools: video cameras, phone tapping, and cracking password-protected devices. First, there are cameras. Dorothy Mukasa is an activist who wants better protection of privacy rights in Uganda. She showed us the police's brand new surveillance system in this busy neighborhood.
All the roads around are constructed by Chinese. Wherever there is a new road, there should be a camera.
Okay.
This is part of the contract for all the Chinese companies doing construction.
At this intersection, we counted 9 cameras. Protected by sharp spikes, they're scattered throughout the bustling capital, and even in remote slums. She explains that Huawei installed and trains the police to use a network of 5,000 cameras as part of a program called the Safe City System. This monitoring system is one of Huawei's flagship products, and it's already rolled out across China. In promotional videos, the company claims that its cameras, equipped with artificial intelligence, can help police catch criminals even before they commit crimes.
This man is very suspicious.
But activists like Dorothy Mukasa say the system is not only being used to make the city safer.
Everybody wants a criminal-free city. We've seen government target opposition more than criminals. So they will confine you to your home, make sure you don't mobilize.
And the government doesn't only watch what activists are up to, it also taps their phones to listen to their conversations. A former official who helped run one of the government's surveillance programs agreed to talk to us. He asked us to conceal his identity. He says Ugandan intelligence officials asked Huawei staff to use its mobile network infrastructure to spy on people.
The issue of tapping communication is done by government security agencies, and they work hand in hand with Huawei.
Activists soon realized that their calls were being tapped, so they started communicating on encrypted messaging apps like WhatsApp. That meant the police had to figure out how to crack into the phones themselves. According to government officials, Huawei employees taught the police how to use spy software in order to read conversations on opposition politicians' phones.
Security agencies responded by using spy softwares. For you to achieve that, you must install this app on the communication register like a phone. Then you can easily monitor.
One of my colleagues, WSJ correspondent Nicholas Barrio, spoke with another official close to the surveillance program.
He was actually very nervous because of his position.
The person said Huawei employees themselves tricked targets into clicking links that would allow them to install spy software remotely and get into password-protected phones. All was done at the request of the Ugandan government. More specifically, he recalled that one target was a particularly popular opposition figure, the singer Bobi Wine.
It was hard, but Huawei, our cyber experts are good. They worked with us, and we broke into Bobi Wine's encrypted messages, and this is of his entire team.
Huawei rejected our reporting and said it conducted its own internal investigation that showed the company and its employees did not engage in the alleged activities. It also said Huawei doesn't have the capabilities to do so. The company added that its employees are prohibited from compromising privacy and breaching laws. We found that Huawei employees worked at the request of Ugandan officials, who have broad powers under the law. A Ugandan government spokesman told us in an email that its police and intelligence agencies work with Huawei technicians to bolster national security. However, he said he was not at liberty to discuss specifics.
Beautiful. Thank you.
We met Bobi Wine at his house in Kampala.
When we came here, it was a bush. There was no...
Other politicians have questioned his grasp of policy.
So me and Bobby,
Nonetheless, his popularity is on the rise.
we were very young.
Bobi Wine says it became obvious his devices had been tapped when police started breaking up political rallies planned in secret. At one event last year, the police shot his driver.
Because after all that happened, I escaped into one of the hotel rooms, and they only caught me in the morning by breaking into the hotel room. They beat me and broke part of my skull.
The government said at the time that the torture claims were fake news, and the police claimed his driver had been killed by a stray bullet. The Wine supporters believe the singer was the target of a failed assassination attempt. He says the only way the police knew where to find him was by cracking into his phone to listen to calls and read his messages.
We were on WhatsApp, we were having, of course, various conversations, how to plan it. And guess what happened? The police busted our meeting. Many of my friends were arrested. Some of them still attend court. Please ask David to give me my other phone.
Bobi Wine has since developed new strategies to avoid the police and has been able to hold meetings with his team without getting caught.
We're playing a cat and mouse game here. They could have maybe 2 phones tracked, and I could decide to send all these phones in different directions of the country, to confuse them.
Our investigation found that Algeria and Zambia have acquired similar surveillance tools and are using them to crack down on the opposition. Algeria declined to comment for this story, while Zambia's ruling party confirmed that it works with Huawei technicians to fight opposition news sites. Huawei said it has never sold safe city surveillance tools to either country. China has been exporting its model of surveillance by selling equipment and training governments, not only in Africa, but also in other parts of the world.
So now we bring the fisco to the disco to make it understandable to the common people.
In Uganda and many other developing countries, Huawei's cheap phones and fast internet are life-changing. But Bobi Wine and other political activists say that shouldn't come at such a high cost.
Alright, if I ever had the opportunity
to change the way that my people them live. I would abolish all the oppressive taxes them. That would be my fiscal policy.